Vincent, when you came in and you were following somebody you referred very kindly to, what was your thinking about how you would alter things? Because there were lots of good habits you've talked about, lots of good reference points, but you were you. It was a new era. You were going to be playing in the Championship anyway. So, what would Sean find different apart from the football personnel? Because you've radically changed the squad, but what's changed about the ethos of the club since you took over?
No, I mean, there's two things. You come first as a coach, and you have something you're able to transfer to players, and it's important you transfer something to the players that you understand completely. So there's the coaching content, but then the second thing is also values, and when I keep mentioning hard work, effort, you could imagine someone else mentioning those same words, right? In my career, I was an aggressive player, and I love the aggression in a side as well. You could imagine another person saying those same words. So I'm saying there is a kind of a picture that can get painted that has absolutely nothing to do with who I am as a person. There's things that I'm absolutely aligned with, and there's other things where otherwise we'd all be the same, right? There's other things where I'm different, but it's not been difficult for me to, in fact, carry on something that was already really, really present in this club, and I put it always very highly within our culture, very, very highly.
So just to add to that, where does Sean stand in your perception of top managers? I mean, I've been thinking the way things are, you could get manager of the year, if he keeps them up against 10 points, and the spiritual problem that would have had on the players to begin with, but they've bounced back. So where does he sit? Because before he left Burnley, people thought he was only a one-dimension manager, but I think he's beginning to change that now. That perception, at least.
No, look, the public will say what it says, but I'm not a fan. I'm a manager. I'm a coach. I can see the work he's doing. I can see the quality of his work, and the thing as well with it is I've just mentioned that we're a Premier League club, and he's the reference of this club. As in, like, anybody that comes behind it has to try and better that. That's the goal of every club. Anybody that goes after, I don't know, Pep will try and do better than Pep. Good luck. But but it's anybody that comes after Arsene Wenger at Arsenal is still trying to do better than Wenger. Takes time though. And he's that person for a Premier League club. I mean, you don't become that person unless you're a very, very, very good coach. And, the biggest thing as well in coaching is clarity. And you can see that there's a tremendous amount of clarity to everything his team does. That's the answer.
Vinny, obviously, you've got a lot of new players that weren't there when Sean was here, but there are a few that were here. When you came in, how did you find them at all resistant or unsure about what you were doing? What's their attitude been to this new philosophy, if you like?
Oh, please don't mention the word philosophy. I have I really don't like the word philosophy in this because there is a lot of pragmatism to what we do, a lot, and eventually you have a set of belief. I can follow that, but you always adapt to what you're facing and the players you have. In the end, I think I was lucky to be very well received. I just had the buy-in of the players from day one. They didn't just help me on the pitch, but they helped me with the dressing room as well. And all I did is, from my side, is try and coach them, try and give them as much information as I could, whether they were playing or not, because some of them weren't even playing, and they were Premier League players the year before. And they've been very, very open with me. I mean, some of the things as well that I put forward in these moments is, I think I've tried to always be as direct with them as well and honest, as in, like, I could be wrong, but what I'm saying is what I'm thinking right now, and they received that quite well, and it's allowed us to have a very good relationship from the get-go almost.
I mean, I'm happy not to use the word philosophy. Is there an alternative? I'm trying to think of An alternative word.
Honestly, that word will irritate me as well at some point. So it's just
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Mate.
I know. But you use the word philosophy, and before you know it, there's a quote underneath that will say dreamer or not realistic, and no way. But in the end, you have to coach what you know. It's so important. And if I wasn't doing that, you'd be the first to say, well, why is he in the job then? I feel that every time I get on the pitch, every time I'm with those players, I feel there's something that these guys are offering that is also making them stand out, that is also making them more dangerous because of it, more able to score goals, more able to cause problems. That's the goal ultimately.
Hi, are you okay? You've mentioned a few times Sean as a reference point. I've heard him speak about seeking advice and giving advice to managers. Did you have any dealings with him when you took over the club? Because he was here a long time, and have you had any dealings with him since he took over?
No, I've met him a few times, but I funnily enough, I haven't done that in this case, But obviously, I didn't need to go too far there's lots of people at the club that worked with him, right? So I didn't need to go too far to understand what it was that made the club so special for a long time. And then, like I said, in the end, we were in the championship, and we knew as well that we knew as well that we had an opportunity to write our own story as well. That was also exciting for us.
Obviously, it gets framed that there was a huge shift in style of play. Let's not say philosophy, but style of play, or that.
I don't like style either.
Yeah, we will find one. Do you think that sometimes that can be? It's obviously meant as praise for yourself, but that can also be perceived as potentially disrespectful to whoever came in. Because I know Sean has a big thing about that he gets pigeonholed and he gets put into this type of manager. Do you feel that as well?
Well, at the moment, I'm trying to unpigeonhole myself as well, as you can see. But you're an incredible force. No matter what I say, it's not going to happen, is it? Look, guys, I said it last year. Forget about just this game for now. In terms of I've started last season. I was already doing it when you guys were there. I've told you already last season about our pressing, about our duels, how aggressive the team was. You've never seen me. If a player falls on the floor, it's me who's dragging him up and say, "Get on the pitch because you're embarrassing us." That's my mentality. So, look, pigeonhole me all you want, but if I know that if there's a big tackle flying in, I'll be the first one to be up my seats, and I'll be in celebration. It's a side of the game that I appreciate so much. But yeah, there needs to be some difference somewhere, and for me, I've got an idea of how you come to create a chance and a goal, and this is how we've created our chances. This is how we've scored our goals as well, and that's what it is. For me, the disrespectful thing is, and I know you didn't phrase it in that way, but the disrespectful thing would always be at any club, any level, if you don't put in the work. Then you have a problem. A player who doesn't put in the work, a club where players are not interested, staff are not interested, and that couldn't happen on my watch. No chance. Yeah.
Just on that, in terms of that side of the game, just how pleased have you been with your side's progress on the defensive side of play in terms of, I guess, getting to grips with the Premier League a little bit more?
Yeah, very, very. And thanks for mentioning it. But the big thing for me as well is we always have to put it into the context of, you come up against Brighton and all of a sudden, second half, you got Mitoma who comes on and he's dragging 3 of our players back to the corner flag nearly. That's the level of players we face sometimes. And like I say, you can't overestimate how much sometimes we're not in control of the flow of the game, right? And then you have to do what the game demands. And I think in those moments, the team is hopefully able to continue on that, because I've said it eventually it doesn't matter, because I could say they've deserved more, but in the end you've got to go and just get it then. And I hope they can continue. And if the Everton game is one of those games, if the Fulham game is one of those games, if the Liverpool, but every game should be an opportunity for us to continue our progress. That's how we have to look at it and get our points.
And lastly, you sort of in reference to Wilson at the weekend, you talked about the way behind the scenes that goes into developing these players and these players learning. I was just wondering what does go into that, and how much work goes into, because it's not just about on the training pitch, there's loads of other things that come into it, and what your players are doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, so again, it's not something we started now, but it's a side of the game I personally love. I love winning as much as every manager. I'm passionate about winning, but I'm also passionate about improving players, developing players. It doesn't matter the age. It's not because they're young. It's a real passion. If a player gets better, I'm likely to find some happiness no matter what. And these players need just a lot of time, a lot of attention. So whether it's individual meetings, unit meetings, collective meetings, individual sessions, unit sessions, collective sessions, arm round it, sometimes bit of a reminder, and all these different ways of approaching and triggering a player's improvement. So we try and hit it from every angle. And what I like about it as well is you get I can't go and all of a sudden miraculously change the nature of the squad in a transfer window, but what I can do is support the players' improvement and therefore become a better team, and that's exciting.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Just a reminder,
Thank you.
ladies, 10:30.